Well, welcome back to Pete Classic Cars and welcome to a Supra video. We've not done one of these in a while. There's several reasons that we haven't, and a big reason that we are doing one today. So the reasons we haven't done one is it's been perfect. We've been using this car every day. In fact, it's been the only car that we've got that's actually working at the moment, so it's been everywhere and done everything, and it deserves the love it's going to get. The reason we are doing a video on it today is it's due its MOT in I think about 5 weeks. Due its MOT in 5 weeks. However, we're going on holiday in it in 5 weeks, and before that it is exactly, I think, a month to the day. When you see this, it'll be just under a month that we are driving this to Goodwood for the Retro Ride show. We're camping there for the weekend. However, in its current state, it won't pass an MOT. There's been jobs we've been putting off, and we know they needed doing, but we've not had another car to take its place. Now I've got a few days off work. We're going to try and get as much done as we can, and we're going to go without a car for a week. It just needs doing. So, it needs a full new exhaust system. We patched the exhaust system together, welded it up, sorted some pinholes out, but it's dead. So we have a nice new exhaust system to fit. That's one of the jobs. There's a few little jobs, a few trim jobs, but the big job, the main job, the reason it's jacked up today, we're taking the entire rear subframe out. Now, Supra's Mk3s suffer from the rear subframe bushes. They're about this big. There's, I believe, 6 of them, and they degrade over time, as any bush does. And they cause lateral movement in the subframe, so obviously the subframe can move around as you're accelerating and braking. We've got a full set of poly bushes, but we've also got every bush for every suspension arm. We've got new anti-roll bar bushes, new anti-roll bar drop links. We've got it all. So we're going to drop the entire rear subframe out, ideally today. We're going to send it away for powder coating. We're going to rebush the whole thing. It's going to be like new under there. We've got less than a month to retro rides, so this has to go right. So no pressure. Now, if you like this channel and like the Supra and like the other cars that we do, please consider subscribing. Really does help the channel out. Like this video, comment, let us know what you think of the Supra. We love it to bits. I have got a big project incoming. It's actually had a photograph taken of it, but no one noticed, which I think is quite cool. And it's actually there, you just can't see it. And hopefully I'll be doing quite a big build video on that within the coming weeks. But for now, let's get the Supra done. We're actually going to leave the coilovers on. Makes no sense to take them off, and it also means we have to get inside the car. What we do need to do is undo the bottom bolt. We're also going to leave the calipers on to save us having to re-bleed the brakes. I'll take the calipers off and cable tie them up out of the way. So bottom shock absorber bolt and caliper. One of the many benefits of copper grease in your bolts when you put them in. That couldn't have come out any easier. Next up, caliper. That's the caliper, cable tied out of the way. So that means the brake line is not going to catch on the subframe as we lower it down. We've got the bottom shock bolt out. So as daft as it sounds, that is it for this side. One of the main subframe mounts is there. And then the other two are under the front. You won't be able to see those yet. They are here, there and there. I'm going to have to move axle stands later. So we'll do the same on the other side, and then we're on to exhaust and prop shaft. Okay, so next up's the exhaust. And I can't tell you how much I've been looking forward to taking this exhaust off. It rattles, it's horrible, it's full of holes. Yeah, it just wants scrapping. There's not a decent savable part left on it. So I'm going to take the back half off first, which is quite simple. 2 bolts. mismatched sizes, I might add. Okay, normally I wouldn't do this, but I'm going to cut the rubbers on the back box. I could spend about half an hour wrestling with the rusty mount, or I could just cut these two in about 2 seconds and carry on with the job. So that's what I'm going to do. The rubber O-rings, we can get some more. So it's just not worth it. Like I say, we don't have a lot of time. So there we go. Okay, you join me underneath the car. The next job we need to do is get these prop shaft bolts out. So it's always a good idea at some point to mark it so it goes back on in the same orientation. And then we've got to get all 4 of these out, and we've got to take the centre cross member out as well. But yeah, we might take the whole prop shaft out actually, just get it out of the way so we're not fighting against it. But first job is these 4, which look to me like they've never been off before, or not in a very long time. They look like 9/16, 40mm, whichever you want to say, which they are. And these are usually an absolute pain, so you get to watch me struggle with them. There we go. Right, subframe mounts. Front ones, this plate. You've got 2 40mm in the front, there and there, which are out. And you've got 2 19mm, one there and one there. Now, these have all come out on the other side. Those 2 are out. No reason to think they're not going to come out. What the problem is this subframe mount there. So this has come loose in the chassis and is spinning. And I have no idea how I'm going to get that out. I think I'm going to end up cutting it, but it's going to be a nightmare to cut as well. So yeah, not amazingly happy with that one. Might have to get a nut splitter on it maybe. That might be an option. But as I mentioned, we're only 1 broken bolt away from a bit of a nightmare. And there we go. That's going to be the one. So what we'll do is we'll get these 2 out, and then we'll go and see if we can find the nut splitters that I've got. We need to reposition these axle stands, otherwise the subframe's never going to come down. And then we'll attack that back bolt. But we are close. In theory, we are 3 bolts away from lowering the subframe out, so not bad. Let's get these 2 front bolts out. Okay, as you can see, that one had to have some death from the nut splitter, so we'll need a new one of those. But it's now off. So we can reposition the axle stands and lower this subframe out. And there you go, 1 rear subframe out. Not that bad in the end. So next job, when I've had a minute, is to get the whole thing blasted to pieces. Needs to go to powder coater on Monday, so there's not much time to waste really. So we'll have a little break and then we'll get it taken to pieces. Okay, that's about it for today. You'll see me tomorrow in a minute. We've done quite a lot. We've got the subframe out. We've got the subframe completely stripped apart from the bushes that need pressing out tomorrow. That's ready to go for powder coating. Most of this is ready to go for powder coating. We've got a few little bushes to press out, but nothing major. We've still got to strip the sub-assembly, strip the hubs down, drive shafts, discs, etc, etc. We'll do that tomorrow as well. The reason you can't see any nuts or bolts or bits like that laying about is if I'm not going to put it back together the same day or very soon, I like to bag up, label every nut and bolt individually. At least you know exactly where it goes. No confusion when it comes to refitting and rebuilding, because you never know when you're going to rebuild it, really, do you? So yeah, that's a bit of a tip for you if you're ever going to do a big job that you've never done before. Label everything. You can't have enough reference material. Take photos, whatever you need. So yeah, have a little bit of a tidy up, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. It is now day 2 and we left you with all this. So by the end of yesterday we'd got everything stripped. We need to get the bushes out today and we need to get these 2 sub-assemblies stripped down. So I woke up feeling rough, very rough. I think too much sun, not enough water yesterday, but I've got a cracking headache. So I just want to get this done now. It is Saturday morning. This all needs to be stripped and ready to go to the powder coaters by Monday, so we've got to get all the bushes pressed out, etc. So the first thing I'm going to do is get these hubs stripped down. That seems like the best place to start, to be honest, and then we'll crack on with everything else. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is the subframe bushes, these ones. There's 6 of them all together, 2 there and 1 at the back on each side, and these all need to come out. Now, people talk to you and tell you horror stories about these, having to oxyacetylene them out and so on, but as you can see, we've already removed 1, and behind Mel we've already done the other 3 on that side. So all I did yesterday was wire brushed around them and gave them a good dose of WD-40 and left it overnight, and the other 4 have come out brilliantly using this and this. So big hammer, big chisel. Now I'm hoping that these 2 come out just as easily, to show you what I mean. Let's find out. A bit like that. If everything went this well, I'd be very happy. So we've just got 1 left to do, and then we've got a few little rubber bits in the subframe to take out, and then it is ready to go. So let's attack this last one. As you can see, they're a really big bush, and they've also rusted quite badly, which is weird. We've got full poly replacements for these, so they are literally just scrap. So now we've got that to remove, another little one there, some little plugs and things like that, but this subframe is 99% ready to go to the powder coater on Monday morning. I think it's going to look good. We've got some plans for it, but now we've got to do the same, basically get all the bushes out of the arms so everything's ready to go. We are going to leave the sub-assemblies pretty much complete. Talked about stripping one down and actually started to strip one down earlier on in the video. We are not going to disassemble these too much further. Obviously we need to replace these bushes. They're dead, both of those. We've got replacements, and we need to replace the bushes in the arms. However, there's nothing wrong with the bearings, and if you remember from a previous video, we redid all the handbrake mechanism and handbrake shoes inside. In fact, you saw me strip another one down earlier on. We're just going to clean this up and paint it. There's nothing wrong with it. We don't want to disturb the wheel bearings because there's nothing wrong with those. And yeah, we just don't want to make unnecessary work for ourselves. So that's all going to get stripped. Well, it's all going to get cleaned, wire brushed, painted, treated. You know, it'll look spot on once we've done it. But we're not going to strip it down to its component form. You know, this car does need to be back on road. If we're going to get to Goodwood, it needs to be back on the road in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, we're not going to mess about. We're not cutting corners. We're just making things as good as we can. We're not after a show-winning car. It's not concours. So next job is to press all the bushes out of the arms, and then I think we're done. So let's crack on with that. And that's it, everything ready to go to the powder coaters. Now, I was going to show you me pressing all the bushes out of these, but it's taken the better part of 6 hours. It's now Sunday, and everything's got to go to the powder coaters tomorrow morning. So the video would have been about 6 hours long of me pressing bushes out and swearing, so nobody needs to see that. Yeah, everything is now ready to go to powder coaters. We've not received the new bushes yet, but they're on their way. We now need to concentrate on cleaning the hubs up, cleaning and seam sealing the underneath of the car and getting that recoated. And when this comes back all powder coated and fresh, we'll get it put back together. We are 25 days away from retro rides. We need to get cracking. Let's get all this to powder coaters. If you've liked this video and you want to see more, please consider subscribing. It does help the channel out. Click like on this video, share it around, drop a comment down below. What do you think? We're going a crazy colour on the subframe. Let me know what you think and let me know what colour you'd do it. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.